Hey guys, this is Faye from Feisworld. In this video, I want to show you 7 tips to successfully engage in other people's Facebook groups. Now there's a distinction. I'm not talking about the groups you started. I know some of you may have great, really large groups. Awesome. You get to do whatever you want in there. But at some point, if you're a content creator, you're developing a new product, if you don't get a message out there, you're an author, at some point you might want to leverage other people's groups to build more momentum, to establish authentic relationships with other people who are on the same path. So that's what this video is about. The reason why I think it's so necessary, yet very few people talk about this, is we all get rejected or we hear crickets because people are not responding. When you enter into a Facebook group, especially if it's a large group, chances are you're reading numerous rules and guidelines. Once you post something, it doesn't even go live directly in that group. Instead, it goes to a moderator. And after hours, sometimes more than a day, before you can actually see that post. And guess what? Very often, not just you, if you have experienced this, but so many of us experience rejections, which means, oh, your post is either too self-promotional or it's not relevant to this group. We just decided to not post it. So with all that delay, a lot of people are just giving up on Facebook groups, but you're also giving up on connections and getting your message out there. Here are the 7 tips. Tip number 1, introduce yourself. A lot of the groups and moderators within those groups encourage you as new members to introduce yourself. Don't skip over that opportunity. You're being invited to introduce yourself. You might as well do the right thing. Tell people about who you are. Be authentic, be transparent. I would say in general, avoid being a salesperson. Avoid treating that opportunity as you're trying to build up new client prospects, such as, hey, I'm a digital marketer. I am accepting new clients right now. No, that's not a great first post. Be yourself, be vulnerable. Talk about the things that you're struggling with. Why you joined this group to begin with. A lot of people choose to join groups because they are struggling with something or need help with something. Whether it's writing or building their business, who knows, or trying to grow their YouTube channel. So it's important and it's really helpful to be vulnerable and to be honest about who you are in the situation you're in. As part of that intro, sometimes it's cool to offer your expertise, especially if you have read through comments and posts from that group. You realize maybe you can offer your expertise to somebody else, and you can actually do that. And you can engage with individuals who may be seeking your expertise. But you gotta be a little careful about not trying to sell your service right away. If you're in doubt, I would say just hold off on that a little bit and maybe engage with other people one-on-one just to be safe. Tip number 2, ask questions relevant to the group. Now, in order to do that, you have to understand the groups. If you are someone who joins hundreds of groups, you wanna go in and just drop your 2 cents and trying to sell your products, that's not gonna work. You have to go in and really kind of analyze, spend some time, even if it's 10 to 15 minutes, to see what the group is really all about, or even niche within a certain topic. Then you go in and ask your question. For example, I'm part of a subtle Asian YouTubers group. I go in and ask questions such as, hey, what do you guys struggle with the most when it comes to publishing videos or maintaining your YouTube channel? Then I got answers. Very helpful to my questions. I hear things like imposter syndrome, not trusting your instinct, and really worry that your videos are not going to be good enough, people won't respond. So it was really interesting. There were 40 comments or so, and the group is quite small, only about 1,000 people, yet it's very, very engaging. I want to talk about the types of questions you can ask. Open-ended questions. What do you think of the Apple iPhone? Or what do you think of this new movie that just came out on Netflix? And people are going to give you different opinions, good or bad, or maybe you want to watch something else. Now, second is close-ended questions. Do you like Apple iPhone? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think I should purchase it? Yes, no questions are close-ended questions. And there's a third type of question I don't hear people talk about, which is you throw something out there with a purpose to connect with other like-minded people. So, for example, one of my favorite authors is Seth Godin. I can pose a question to say, hey, How many of you guys have read a book or books by Seth Godin? Or I can elaborate on, Seth Godin's L10BA. Hey, how many of you guys have attended Seth Godin's L10BA? And when people respond, even though they're not answering or helping you troubleshoot anything, but they're connecting with you at the same level. You have similar interests. So you'll be surprised by how quickly you develop that rapport with these folks. There's a fourth technique I've witnessed recently. I was like, wow, this is so smart. I wish I thought of this, which is image-based questions. So you are basically embedding the question itself inside an image. The image can be compelling, or you can use like a placeholder image from within Facebook. The place where I love to source my Creative Commons Zero images, which means that you don't need rights to use them and you don't need to pay for them under any circumstances. So that's Unsplash, and the other is Pexel. So I will leave the links in the description below. Absolutely love those resources. You can use them for your website as well. But you can embed your questions in these stunning, gorgeous, relevant images, and it's going to capture people's eyes as opposed to just a text question alone. So keep that in mind. Tip number 3, answering questions. Not just posting questions or talking about yourself. You can help people by answering their questions. That means instead of only paying attention to the posts that you shared and only monitoring the engagement within that thread, you want to actually scroll through the group a little bit. Maybe it's just 5-10 minutes a day. Maybe it's just a couple of times a week, and see the questions other people are asking about. The fact that you chose to be in the same group means that there's a really good opportunity that you know something that can help somebody else. So I go into these comments threads all the time, such as within the same YouTube group I mentioned earlier. I see people struggle with how to name files, how to organize files within Final Cut Pro, and I want to offer people some answers too. When you're in trenches, when you're in pain trying to figure things out, you'll remember the people who lended a hand to help you. Tip number 4, Edu-tainment. What? Okay, so turns out the content that resonates with most people are both educating and entertaining. And so I don't know who invented this word, but it's called Edu-tainment. When you pose a question or how you engage other people, if you learn to create edutainment content, then there's a much higher chance of you reaching more people and quality people as well. Tip number 5, it's kind of related to something I said, which is posting with images. But in this case, if you're not asking a question, it's actually really helpful to share quotes, some inspiring, some thought provocative, whatever it may be, as part of an image. So embedded in an image. You may have already seen this practice somewhere else, but from the groups I have seen so far, that tactic is really, really useful. Tip number 6, posting videos. Now, if you're already a YouTube content creator, you probably got a lot of behind the scenes video clips, and I'm recommending that you post a video you want to share with a group as native videos, not just as a link to YouTube, native videos to Facebook group. And I've seen a lot of interactions because people don't have to bounce off to another platform to watch the video. And as a result, Facebook's algorithm always prefers native videos because it keeps everybody on this platform, so give that a shot. That also is to say that, hey, you can record your questions, whatever your reflections, your question that day, and post that video to the group. It doesn't have to be overly edited or produced. It can just be, vertical or landscape video recorded with your phone. That's it. Tip number 7, last tip of this video. You want to focus on high quality, highly engaging groups that's right for you and for your purpose. I know that when content creators like ourselves are spending so much time creating, we really want to expose us, our brand, our messaging to as many people as possible. That to some of us means we're joining dozens, if not hundreds of groups. You want to engage with groups that are higher quality and align more with your vision. You don't want to waste time in groups such as sub for sub. That's a YouTube thing, which means you're only there to ask people to subscribe to your channel and they're only there to do the same thing. They don't care about your content, they're not engaging with it, they're not real high quality followers or audience for your work. Those are the 7 tips. Let me know what you have learned. What is the one thing that you find helpful or actually has worked for you? If I have left out something that you've learned along the way that it's super impactful, help me out, please. I would love to hear from you. Leave your comments below. Can't wait to see you in the next video. To do that, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell button so you can get notified when I go live or when I release a new video. Much love, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Mwah.